Good morning and welcome. We are in Nelson, BC today. It is obviously a beautiful day here in the Kootenays. This is Kootenay Lake. You're going to hear a little bit of traffic around us and hopefully enjoy our flow practice today. So we're going to start seated, sitting nice and tall, making sure all the flesh is pulled out from under the sit bones, crossing the legs in whichever way you feel comfortable. But we will switch up later, so just make a note as to what leg is in front. I, for myself, have my right leg in front. That is my natural seated position. Drawing up tall through the spine, shoulders back and down. Let's start with a few deep breaths with the eyes closed, inhaling big. Exhale completely. Inhale, filling the belly through the ribs up to the top of the lungs. And then exhale all the way out. Big inhale. And exhale. Let's take an inhale here, filling all the way up. On the exhale, we're going to reach the chest down towards one knee, sweeping around all the way. Inhale up to the other side. And exhale, switching directions. Big inhale. Exhale, going at your own pace. Holding any position that feels like it might need just a little bit more attention. Big sweeps around. The next inhale will come all the way back up. Rolling out through the top. And exhale. Good. Let's take a big reach, lengthening up on that inhale. Exhale, folding forward, reaching as far as you feel comfortable. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, fold. Inhale up. And exhale. Excellent. Inhaling, coming back up, roll it out. We're going to switch our feet. Bumblebee. Right in my face. Hands on the knees, big inhale. Exhale, sweeping around. Good. Following that same path. Side, center, side. Loosening up through the hips and the low back. Next inhale, coming all the way back up. Reaching up in a tall lengthen. Big exhale. Reach it forward. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale, reach. And exhale. Good. Coming back up, roll it through those shoulders. We'll come onto the hands and knees. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's start with a few cat-cows here. So inhale, we're going to arch the back down, lift the chin up. Exhale, rounding up. Inhale. And exhale. Rounding through those shoulders. Big inhale. And exhale. Good. A little wiggle out through the hips as you come back into tabletop. Taking the toes under in the back. On an inhale, we're going to lift up and settle back into our downward facing dog. And just kind of feel this one out, maybe bending one knee then the other. Lifting up high through the hips. Spread the entire hand out into the mat. Trying to get the belly button back towards the thighs. Head hangs between the arms. On an inhale, we're going to come into a plank. Exhale, shift the hips back. Inhale to plank. Exhale back. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Holding it here, legs straight, head between the arms, hips up high. Big, deep belly breaths. Good. On your next out breath, we're going to bring your left hand to the outside of the hands. So hands rest inside, nice and deep through the hips. You can drop the back knee down if that's where your practice is, or keep the leg nice and straight. A few big deep breaths. Soften through the shoulders, through the hip. Lengthen through the spine. Keeping your right hand down, left hand comes to thigh, and we're going to twist through the shoulders. Inhale with the hands on either side of that left leg. We're going to straighten out. You may want to bring the right foot a little bit closer. Maybe keep a bit of a bend in the knee. Maybe both legs can come straight. Hips face forward, toes face forward, lengthening through the back of that front leg as much as you can. On an inhale, we're gonna lift up, hand onto the left leg, reaching up tall through that right side. Nice and long from fingertip to fingertip. And on an exhale, we bring that hand down. Both hands to the floor, step back into plank. Inhale to down dog, holding it here for a moment. Big deep breaths. When when you're ready, drive that right foot forward to the front of your mat, hands to the inside. Left knee can come down or lengthen through the left leg, dropping the hips, soft through the shoulders. And we're gonna open up to that right side. Right hand on the thigh, twisting the shoulders. Inhale, coming back into center, trying to lengthen through those legs. You can adjust your stance as much as you might need. Straight legs if you can, a little bit of a bend is perfectly acceptable as well. Big inhale, we're gonna reach that left hand up, stacking through the shoulders. Lengthening fingertip to fingertip. And then exhale, coming all the way down. Let's place those hands together, step back into our plank. Inhale to down dog, holding it here. And slowly walk your hands towards the feet. Into a forward fold, nice and heavy. Maybe a little sway through the shoulders might feel nice. Beautiful. Slowly walk the hands out in front, and we're going to step the left foot forward to the right side of the front of the mat. Getting down nice and deep. Now this pigeon can also be done on the back if you prefer, and just hug in through the chest. You want to make sure the hands are in front. There's going to be some space between that left glute and the mat, and if that's the case, just stay up high. If you're able to reach that right leg back, you can come down and bring yourself onto the elbows, or right down onto the mat with your chest down to the mat. So find a position that feels comfortable for you. There should be no pain in the knee. Just a pulling through that left glute, left hip. Think about forcing that right hip down towards the mat. Really breathe into that back glute. We're going to hold this one for a few breaths. So give it some time. Think about where that tension is and try to focus your breath to that place. More breaths. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll onto the left hip. Gently come out of this position. And then left leg back. Take it down dog. Stretch it out. A little wiggle through the hips. Ready, we can bring that right foot forward to the left side at the front of the mat. And you may notice a little bit of tension more on one side than the other. Think about pushing that left hip down, settling down that right hip by reaching the left foot back as far as possible. And maybe you can come down onto the elbows on this one. Maybe it's a little bit more tight as I am feeling today. And that's normal, and it will change from day to day in this position. So just learn to embrace it. Think about where that tension is and focus your breath there as we hold this position for a few breaths. Maybe a little bit deeper with every out breath. And just a few more here. When you're ready, we'll roll onto that right hip. Press our way back and taking child's pose here. So big toes together. I like to have my knees nice and wide on this one. Reach those hands out in front and forehead down. Big deep breaths here as you melt into that mat. Taking the time here to allow the back and the hips to reset. Excellent. Inhale, coming up onto the hands and knees. Just a few cat-cows. Let's tuck the toes under in the back and just send the hips back a bit, stretching out through those feet, through the toes. So trying to sit back on the heels, you should feel that lengthening happening through the toes. And just pressing back as far as it feels comfortable for you. Beautiful. Sitting back on those knees, you can keep the toe stretch going if you like, or just place the tops of the feet into the mat. Sitting back on the knees, if this is uncomfortable for you, feel free just to sit on your seat. Bringing the hands into heart center. Take a big reach up. And exhale back down. Excellent. I'd like to thank you for joining me today, for joining me in my practice, for joining me in this beautiful, beautiful place. If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. Otherwise, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Have an awesome day.